Hello, Karen Cawthron here. Today, Cami and I have done our mini lesson on transition. Transition can be a lot of different things for different grade levels. What we have decided to focus on today is the older kids, like juniors, seniors in high school. Our mini lesson is going to be on budgeting and finances, which for transitioning students, especially in the upper grades, can be pretty important because they're getting ready to go out into the real world and to be able to manage their own lives, and being able to budget is part of that. So the first thing I'd like to go over is this worksheet here. So in an ideal situation, we would actually be able to take the students out to, say, a grocery store or a clothing store or something of that nature, and be able to cost things and get accurate prices on what different items will cost them. Because we can't do that right now, we're just going to go through it in this manner. So the students would receive a worksheet. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. Our co-teaching method that we decided to go with is station teaching. And so in that environment, we would have our students broken up into two small groups. They would be with me for a while, then they'd switch and they would be with Cami, and vice versa. Her kids would come over and be with me. And our lessons are similar, they're related, but they're also a little bit different, our portions of our lesson. So the kids that would be with me would be talking about a monthly budget and what that entails. So they would get this worksheet ahead of time, and they would guess, what do you think rent is going to be like? What do you think your utilities are going to be, etc.? Food, entertainment, all these different things. And they would list that on their sheet here, what they think that that's actually going to cost. And then we would brainstorm together on that bottom portion is what do I need versus what do I want? And I think that a lot of the times, especially young kids or young adults, will think that they actually need something when it's really kind of a want. And so that discussion, I think, is an important discussion to have with young people. So once we do the guesstimates, they would take this worksheet home and they would research a little bit more on their own, and they would come up with actual costs of those, and then they would bring it back and we would discuss that again. So the second portion of my lesson, again, because we can't take kids out to the real world, this is kind of a fun option here. If you go to cacareerzone.org, California Career Zone, they have a really great program where you can go through and do budgeting. So we're going to go down here to budget how much money you'll need. So we're just going to pick any zip code. We'll do Santee's zip code. And then this will give us estimates of what different things will cost. So here, they're going to need to make a choice. Do they want to live with their parents, family, or friends? Do they want to rent an apartment? Do they want to buy a place? We're going to pick rent an apartment. And over on this side, it plugs in an amount of what that would approximately cost. Let me go to the next section. So the next section is utilities, mobile phone, gas and electric, home telephone service, cable TV, internet. Now this section kind of goes along with needs versus wants. Do we really need cable television? Probably not. But if they want to put that in there, they can. We would probably definitely need internet and phone service. So we'll put that in there, and it plugs in that amount. And then when you scroll down at the bottom, it's keeping track here of your amounts. So far we have the housing cost and the utility cost, and we are at the total here. So now this is food cost. Do you eat at home? Do you eat out? Do you like to eat fancy? Things like this. We are going to go with, I mostly eat at home and like to cook fancy food. See how that works out. So we're going to go through here pretty quick. This is entertainment. I'm out all the time, which is not my case. So we'll go with, I don't go out often. I usually watch TV or read a book. And we can keep going through clothing. Let's go buy a new outfit every few months. And it just keeps adding this up and adding this up. Transportation. Let's see. I own a car, but I have no loan, so mine's paid off. There's still costs though. Health insurance. Do you have health insurance? Are you on your parents' plan? We'll probably say that that is the case for our students. So they are still going to be on their parents' plan, which is a benefit. Education costs. And this is going to depend on each student. If the student is planning on going to college, if the student is planning on taking some time off, if they have financial aid, all that, we will say private school, state school receive no financial aid. Okay. And then savings. I'm not interested in saving right now. We'll just pick that. Okay, and then it comes up and it gives them a summary. So their monthly spending for the different choices that they made is $2,220 or $2,255. And that number might be kind of shocking to some of them, but that's kind of the reality of it. And that's the purpose of having these transition lessons on budgeting, so that they really get an idea of what's going to happen once they are out of school. And then they have the option of changing, things like that. So this is a good way to get kids, and then their minimum annual salary. This is a good way to get students more comfortable with talking about finances, more comfortable with the idea of what's really going to be happening once they are out there, and it can be really helpful for them. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Cami.